Real quick, going back to that, like basically Rocky montage of you working your ass off and, you know, not really having time to sleep and all that. Like, what was your living situation like? Because I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to do this, but, you know, I can't, you know, my living situation right now is not perfect. I'd imagine, because you said you grew up in a like rougher neighborhood and whatnot. Yeah. So like, what was it like? I mean, obviously
as a teenager, like we get our house broken into all the time. You know, so for me, I never asked my parents for money, never wanted to. There were some times where I did some things that I shouldn't have, you know, sold some things that I shouldn't have, to be honest with you. And got into some trouble, you know, but at that point in time, like if I could go back and talk to my younger self, it was funny because I watched the Gemini, you know, the Will Smith movie. Yeah, I watched it on the way over here. And I'm like, man, if I could go back and do the same shit, I would just tell myself to learn from every mistake and every experience, because you're going to grow and get better from it. And, you know, fortunately for me, I have, and I never made the same mistake again. So.
Taking a quote from Stone Cold from the podcast we just did, he's like, there's some people that'll, you know, they'll say like, hey, that's a hot pan, don't touch it. But young kids will be like, I want to go ahead and, it's like, oh shit, okay, that burned me. Yeah. He's like, you do it once and you're good. He's like, it's the dumbasses that'll go back and keep doing it over and over and over. So yeah, them living experiences that you can't get out of a book, you know, all that stuff you got firsthand, and it's made you who you are today. So in a way, if you did go back, you might have messed something up. Like you had to live what you lived through. Yeah.
It molded me to where I am today and how I am today, you know? So, and I get to put that into my professional life and my family life too as well. And let my kids know, like, listen, Dad's been there. Don't worry. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot that you don't see because we didn't put you in that environment. We did that for a reason, you know, because I went through it. So you don't have to go through it.
Is it hard to sometimes remember that that is your number one job, being a dad?
No, because of the fact that, again, even though my dad worked very hard, he wasn't there for me a lot. So like for me, it was a good and a bad thing, right? So now every day that I come home, every night I come home, if I'm dead tired, I'm still going to play with my son. You know, I'm still going to, you know, spend at least a little bit of time with him as much as I possibly can. It don't matter how bad I feel or how tired I am, it's going to happen. Or I'm going to go to my daughter's soccer game. No matter how much work I have to do at the end of the day, it's going to get done. And that's a priority for me for sure. You know, and that comes first and foremost.
You said your son's 5 and he's doing jiu-jitsu, right? Is that something he wanted to do, or is something you like, you should do it?
A little bit of both, you know. We wrestle all the time, so he was like, he doesn't know what he wants to do right now. He's 5 years old, so he's like, yeah, Dad, I want to do jujitsu, and then so we went there and he loved it, and then from there I was like, okay, cool, we'll keep it. If he was like, I don't like to do it, then I probably would have been like, we'll go a couple more times, see how it is. You know, the first time you gotta, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's my next question is like, what about the girls? Because my daughter, she showed interest in jiu-jitsu, and then she had a friend that was like, I do karate. She's like, oh, now I want to do karate, and I'm just like, no, you don't. But I can't. I don't want to like be the parent that forces her to do something she doesn't want to do. But at the same time, we talk about on the podcast often, like sometimes you do have to force your kid to do something they don't want to do because they don't even know.
They don't know what they want.
Yeah, exactly. And so
I just give it a timeline. Like, try this out for a couple of weeks, you know, and see how you like it, because you never know. The first time may be a bad experience. The second time may be a great experience. And, you know, so for that, I would say give it a time frame for sure.
And do your girls get into it too, or?
Well, my younger daughter, she's more the athlete. My older daughter, she's just more of like the academia, like, you know, I want to be a lawyer. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Not bad.
You do that, you know? So yeah, but I try to make sure that they're doing something, whether it be, you know, a debate team or something along the lines of that, something that's going to keep them occupied in a good way.